Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down the NHL DFS slate for Wednesday, May 3rd. We got ourselves another two-game slate here tonight where I'm going to go through a couple of my favorite line stacks, some of my favorite individual plays, and some of my favorite value plays, and then we'll wrap up today's video talking a little prize picks. With that being said, let's dive into my spreadsheet here. And we're going to kick things off here like we always do in the top left-hand corner with those highest implied game totals, where this game between the Oilers at Golden Knights is coming in at 6.5 goals, Devils at Hurricanes coming in at 5.5, and then take a look down here at the Vegas odds, where you can see the Oilers and Hurricanes are favored to win tonight. And then here's a midweek schedule update. The NHL did shift their schedule as of last night. It looks like we have just one NHL game here on Friday, so I will not be doing a video for that anymore. Still going to have a video out for you tomorrow for that two-game NHL slate, and don't forget, episode 3 of Mulligan Masters is dropping this weekend. With that being said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight, starting with that first line for the Edmonton Oilers. We got McDavid centering Draisaitl and Kane. Yes, it's very expensive to roster these three, but it is certainly doable, and we know if we can make this work, the upside is sky high with these three. And honestly, I was building some lineups last night with these guys here, and really just the Oilers in general, and I prefer to stack up the Oilers' number one power play, where you're going to see McDavid and Draisaitl play, but Kane does play down on their second power play, so I ran a lot of three-man stacks with McDavid, Draisaitl, and Evan Bouchard, who's listed below with the defensemen. But this power play for the Oilers was fantastic all year long, scoring at a 32.4% rate on the power play, the best during the regular season. That didn't change in the first round of playoffs either, and this number is likely going to come down at some point, but they scored at a 56.3% rate in the first round against the LA Kings. Again, really hard to ignore that. And yes, it is expensive, but I promise you, it is doable tonight. And then on the other side of that game, I like that first line for the Vegas Golden Knights as well. And honestly, I think there's a case to be made to roster any one of the top three lines for Vegas. They have some really solid depth in their top three lines. You can see I got Chandler Stevenson listed below as an individual play. He's going to play with Stone on that third line, and both those guys play on the number one power play. But this first line stuck out to me with Eichel, Barbashev, and Marchessault, not because they put up massive numbers in round one against the Winnipeg Jets, just 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points in 5 games, essentially averaging 2 points per game, but they were very impressive 5-on-5 against the Jets, with an expected goals of 6.16 per 60 minutes. That was the third best of 82 qualified lines in round one. Now folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Don't forget, I am running that Discord channel too, and if you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below. We got a great group of people in there talking hockey, talking MLB, and posting their individual prize picks too, so make sure you join that. Help build the community, and if you haven't yet, make sure you go check out my video here as well that I posted this weekend, where I turned $60 into over $13,000 playing NHL DFS. Alright, now diving into some of my favorite individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards, and again, just want to reiterate this here in the notes off to the right-hand side. We need to find ways to make our lineups unique. I'm not playing cash games at this time of year, 2-game slate sticking to tournaments only, and so individual plays, yeah, it makes sense if I'm doing a 4-3-1 stack. Again, I talked about that in my video where I took down $13,000, different stacking strategies that we can take when we're playing tournaments. So if we wanted to find some one-off plays here, love these guys, but really if I'm playing Jack Hughes, probably stacking him up with someone like Dougie Hamilton or his two wingers like Eric Holla and Andre Palat. But I wanted to mention here how well Hughes played against the Carolina Hurricanes this year. You can see there in 4 regular season games, he had 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points with 20 shots on net. Those numbers are definitely hard to ignore. Now, on the other side of that game between the Hurricanes and Devils, I like a 3-man stack between Sebastian Aho, Seth Jarvis, and Brent Burns. You're going to get Aho and Jarvis playing together on the first line and number one power play, and then you're mixing in Burns to correlate on that number one power play as well. But Aho and Jarvis in particular were very good in that first round against the New York Islanders. You can see here Jarvis led the team with 3.3 expected goals. Aho was third on the team with 2 expected goals, but he led the team with 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. You can see Jarvis had 4 points in 6 games. Not fantastic numbers, but considering he is only priced there at $4,700, I do like him correlating with Aho and Burns, again, not only on that first line, but the number 1 power play. Now, originally when I built this spreadsheet here last night, I did have Jesper Bratt here of the New Jersey Devils at $4,800, playing on that first line and number 1 power play. I absolutely think he's in play at his price, but being that I do advocate on these smaller slates to find ways to make your lineups contrarian or unique, I did pivot off of him to Timo Meier here, who plays on their third line and number 2 power play. Look, we know the upside Meier has, a guy who loves to shoot the puck. He's a natural goal scorer, but wasn't very good in round 1 against the New York Rangers. Pulling open his numbers here right now, you can see their expected goals at 2.3, but he didn't get on the score sheet. 0 goals, 0 assists. So I think some people are going to look at that and go, wow, Meier hasn't got on the score sheet here in 7 games. I want to fade that. Part of the reason why I do like it here on this 2-game slate, if it's a regular season, I'm probably avoiding it, but I'm trying to find ways to make my lineups unique, and again, I know the upside with Timo Meier, so I do think he makes for a nice mini stack tonight with him and Dawson Mercer on that third line and number 2 power play. And then I got Chandler Stevenson there, kind of name dropped him earlier, plays on that third line and number 1 power play for the Vegas Golden Knights, and truly was fantastic in round 1 against the Winnipeg Jets. I'm surprised he's not priced at $5,000, so I'll take advantage of this here at $4,300. You can see in round 1 he put up 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points in 5 games. Outside of game 1, he really crushed his value at his current price. Now, moving over here to the defensemen, and the top 3 guys that I got listed on the spreadsheet here, really just trying to target them on their team's number 1 power play. Brent Burns here, the Carolina Hurricanes, Alex Pietrangelo of the Vegas Golden Knights, and Evan Bouchard of the Edmonton Oilers. The unique play here is Darnell Nurse, and I think we can play him as a one-off play. You can stack him up with the number 2 power play, but at $4,900 here, he's definitely someone that can hit 3, 4, even 5x value, and he's a very well-rounded defenseman who can rack up DraftKings points in a number of different ways. Pulling open his game log here from round 1 against the LA Kings, you can see a few games there where he's not meeting fantastic numbers, but 15, 19 and a half DraftKings points at $4,900. Again, not bad at all. And then I got a couple of goaltenders there. Again, 2-game slate, mentioned this yesterday. I'm not going to discount any one of these goaltenders here tonight. We only got 4 to choose from, but I do lean towards this game between the Hurricanes and Devils with Anderson and Schmid. It's got the implied total of 5.5 and a lot of high-scoring upside in that game between the Oilers and Golden Knights, but that's not to say I'm going to fade those goaltenders in that game between the Oilers and Golden Knights. If it makes sense for me to play Brossoit, I'm going to play Brossoit. So again, I'm not discounting any one of these guys, but I am certainly going to be a little heavier on this game between the Hurricanes and Devils when it comes to my goaltender. And as always, going to wrap up the spreadsheet here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. First guy I got there is William Karlsson of the Vegas Golden Knights, who plays on their second line in number 2 power play, was tied for first on the team with 4 goals in round 1 against the Winnipeg Jets, and actually scored in 4 of those 5 games. Next is Eric Hall, and I'm actually going to talk about Palat here at the same time. Both these guys playing on the second line together make for a nice little mini stack. If you want to mix in Jack Hughes, who centers these guys, I have no problem with that. But Haula here was very good in round 1, led the team with 4 goals, had 6 points as well, and was third on the team in expected goals. And then Palat had a huge Game 7, but overall a really good Series 2, was tied for second on the team with 5 points, 2 goals, 3 assists, and again, he was just very noticeable in Game 7, really the reason they brought him in to bring that Stanley Cup playoff experience. He showed that against the Rangers. And then to wrap up this video here, want to talk a little prize picks with you guys. Now, there's 2 picks that are sticking out to me here right away that are actually offering really nice value. Nico Hischier of the New Jersey Devils over 2.5. Jonathan Marchessault of the Vegas Golden Knights over 2.5. Nico right now on DraftKings is -140 to go over 2.5. Marchessault is -135 to go over 2.5. Both those guys are offering really solid value. 2 other picks here that might get bumped today are in that game between between the Hurricanes and Devils. Brent Burns at 3.5 and Jack Hughes at 3.5. I would not be shocked if both of those get bumped to 4.0, but right now it looks like Burns is minus 110 to go over 3.5. Hughes is minus 115, but as we saw his stats earlier, he kind of lit up the Hurricanes throughout the regular season. I understand it's the playoffs, it's a new time of year, but Hughes naturally loves to shoot the puck as well as Burns. But the two picks here that are offering the most value are definitely Hischier and Marchessault. Now, for those of you who have not signed up for Prize Picks yet, but you want to get in on this action, I got a promo code that you should definitely take advantage of. When you're signing up, use my promo code GRIFF. GRIFF, and Prize Picks is going to give you all the way up to a $100 match deposit. Now, you don't have to put $100 in either. If you want to put in 50, you want to put in 20, you want to put in 10, they will match any of that again, matching anything up to $100 as long as you use my promo code GRIFF, GRIFF, upon signing up. Alright everyone, that's going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 2-game slate. In the meantime, I'm out of here.